Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a fashion video, and today we're going to be talking about Goelia. Now, before you click off, I just want to let you know, this is not sponsored, none of this was gifted. Goelia does not know I exist, and nor am I looking for them to find me to, have any future kind of relationship with. This is purely my own experience with buying Goelia. So I think we've all been bombarded with seeing a lot of these videos with Goelia pieces, and I could not help but be intrigued. However, I will say I'm generally a pretty skeptical consumer, so I do not jump in headfirst and, buy a ton of stuff all in one go. I tend to buy one or two pieces just to dip my toes in, just to try it out, see how I feel before I proceed and continue to purchase from them. So my first order was probably at the end of March, I want to say, something like that. And I was intrigued in buying a couple of pieces. And so, as I said, I tend to buy slow, see how I feel, and if there's anything else that kind of piques my interest, I may or may not continue to buy from them. So these are three separate orders that I have purchased from them with my own money since March. This is going to be a very honest review. So I'm going to talk specifically about sizing, about the fit and the quality and all those types of things, because obviously those are really important things to know before you buy something, especially when you're purchasing online and you can't try it in person. Now, as I said, I'm generally a pretty skeptical buyer, and one of the things that I really don't like is if something is like an Instagram shop or Instagram store only, or just an online shop. Now, I know these days everything is online, but I just like to know that there's actually some sort of store footprint, like brick and mortar store. And from what I understand, Goelia actually does have a brick and mortar store in Australia. So I really like that. If there's no actual physical store, I always kind of think of it as like a phantom stores. And again, I'm very careful about where I purchase from and how I buy. So I hope you find this video helpful. And so let's get started with the first piece. So the first thing we're going to talk about is this knit vest. If I'm going to wear a vest, I really like it to be knit because I like how it molds to your body. This in particular I really liked because I really liked the buttons on here. I'm a gold girl, and this has really nice gold buttons that are quite substantial. I also really like the details around the trim. So I feel like that's what really elevates it. You see how there's kind of like this honeycomb kind of pattern on the fabric? I really like that because I feel like if it weren't there, then it would just feel very flat. It just would feel a little bit cheaper. I just feel like this is a really nice piece to pair with a lot of things too. This is not a white and black vest. This is more like a cream and black vest. So, and these buttons obviously are not just fake buttons. They do unbutton, and you can unbutton it where open if you wanted. I find this vest to be very versatile because you can wear it with shorts of any kind, whether it be smarter shorts or even denim shorts. You could wear it with a denim skirt like what I'm wearing now. This is like a maxi denim skirt. You could wear this with linen pants. You could wear this with any kind of skirt. So this feels like a really versatile piece that you could wear through all the seasons. Obviously, you can layer this under a blazer if you wanted, if it was the fall. So the versatility on this is very good. The price is pretty fair. As far as the fabric content, let's check that out. The fabric content of this is 37% lyocell, 32% polyamide, 26% polyester, and 5% wool. I got this in a size small, and I think the fit on this fits me perfectly the way I wanted it to fit. It is a bit cropped, so keep that in mind, and I would say it's more of a slim fit. It's not really a relaxed fit. If you wanted something a little bit baggier, a little bit looser, then I would size up on this. I like the fact that this is cropped, but not super cropped. Like, it's not a crop top. It's more of just like it hits you right at the waist type of thing. And so I think that makes the look quite neat, where you don't have to tuck things and there's not extra fabric and there's not too much looseness in the bodice. This was also in my first order, and I guess I'll show you things in order of how I placed my orders because I want to share with you kind of my thought process of like, this is how I was dipping my toes in. So this was, I thought, a pretty safe thing to buy. I knew that there was a lot of versatility in wearing this, and so I thought this was a win. So within that same order, I also purchased this. I only bought 2 things in my first order, again, trying just to dip my toes in and order things slowly. So this is a knit cardigan, and it has these beautiful gold buttons again, which I really love. And what really differentiated this piece from a lot of other similar type of pieces, because I think you will find this kind of style and cardigan everywhere. You can see them through, most brands will carry this type of aesthetic. But what I really thought was different about this was, number one, the way it fit was a little bit more cropped, which I liked. And that's what I was looking for, because I have plenty of cardigans that have a looser fit. I wanted something that was a little bit what I call neater, and by that I mean it's cropped but not too cropped. It hits you right at the waist, but there's not excess fabric where you have to tuck things and it looks messy. But also I really like the texture on the fabric. A lot of the other ones that you'll find, although very nice, don't have any texture and they're just a flat knit, which if that's what you're looking for, that's totally fine too. But I really liked that this had some texture. So it's a little bit fuzzy looking, and in some ways it probably feels like it might be a little too wintry or a little too heavy for spring and summer. The reason I like this was because of the weight. It's not too light and flimsy, and it's not thick and heavy. And if you wanted to wear this in the spring or summer, you absolutely could. And the way you do that is just leave this unbuttoned. So I layer it. So on the cooler days where there's a bit of a breeze, I would wear this on top of a white cotton dress because it adds more dimension and layers and interest, and I think the texture adds more interest. As far as sizing goes, I got this in an X small, so I sized down in this so I could get a more cropped and fitted look. So if I got this in a small, I think it would be a lot looser in the bodice, and it's probably not the look that I would personally be looking for in the way I wanted to wear it. Just for reference, I'm a size 4 US in most clothing. As far as small, medium, large, whatever, I'm usually a size small. So I would size down in this if you want a more fitted look, but if you want a regular look where it has a little bit more room in the bodice, then I would go for your regular size. As far as materials go, this is 82% polyamide, 8% polyester, 7% viscose, 1% wool, and 2% other fiber. This fabric is super soft, so it's very like comforting in that way. I really love this. I find this very versatile, and something that you can wear all year round. So this is a win. I think my second order was like in June, so it wasn't straight away or anything like that. But I did find a couple more pieces that I wanted to share with you and let you know how they fared. So the first thing I'm going to share with you is this blouse. And I really love blouses, and I'm very picky about blouses. I think a blouse can really elevate any kind of casual outfit. The first thing about a nice blouse is that it should fit you in the shoulders. Now, don't pay attention to this shirt because this is meant to be very loose. The way this fits is perfect, and I was very careful about what size I was gonna order. So I did I searched all of YouTube for reviews to have a good understanding on how it fit other people and how I wanted it to fit me, and to make sure I got the sizing right so I don't have to return and do that whole thing. So luckily I got it all right. And I will say that I got this in a size, which size did I get this in? I got this size in an X small. So I got this in an X small because, as I said, I watched a ton of reviews and I really wanted to get a good sense of relativity on how it fit other people, whether or not they were my size. So what I really...
Excuse me.
Okay, so what I really love about this blouse are all the details. Number one is I'm not someone who likes a huge puff sleeve. I'm pretty broad in my shoulders and definitely around my rib cage, so I don't want to look broader than I actually am. So that's one thing. I want the seam of the shoulders and where the sleeve comes out to hit me right at the top of my shoulders, and that's very important for me. This has the slightest puff, which is actually very flattering, so that does not bother me at all. But what I really love about this is that the sleeves are sheer, but the body is opaque. That is something that I really love in a blouse. There's something very romantic about having sheer sleeves, and I don't know, I think it's a beautiful detail that I think that really stands out. But not only that, I really love the little frilly details around the collar. I think that's beautiful. The little buttons are also in a faux pearl, which I really like, and with a little gold hardware around it. And the sleeves have the slightest little poof, and it also has the sweet little ruffle that also goes around the collar. There is also a little pussy bow here, which I really think adds something really nice too, and just kind of makes it a bit more classy. And I think you can dress this up, but you can also dress it down, and I think that's the beauty of this blouse. The other thing that I really like about this blouse is there's stretch in it. So for someone like me, when I put on a shirt, I always do this test because I have a broad rib cage. So I don't want to feel like I'm gonna like hulk out of my shirt when I'm like moving and, you know, contorting my body in weird ways as I reach or whatever. That is something that really adds to the comfort of wearing the shirt. So I really love the fit on it. I don't find this oversized. In fact, I would, if you want a more slim fit on this type of shirt, I would size down. Again, I got a size X small instead of my regular small, which is generally what I would say I am across brands. I'm usually a small. As far as materials go, I'm sorry to say this is 100% polyester. So now within that same order, I also have this cardigan, and I wasn't sure about this at first because, you know, it's really hard to tell how color and metallics and things like that kind of show online versus real life. And I'm not really a silver person, and I know this has silver sequins. But anyway, this is a cardigan, and it's a beautiful black cardigan. I've seen, you know, every brand, including H&M, Zara, whatever, like, and all the online brands that you see all have this type of cardigan. And again, going back to kind of texture and making things look a little bit more interesting, I was looking for something not so flat and not so regular. Like I wanted something that was a little bit more special. And so when I saw this and it had sequins on it, I was like, is this gonna be a little too much? It might be a little over the top. I don't know if I would actually wear it. But when I got it in real life and I looked at the sequins, I was like, actually, this is what makes it very statement and special without being over the top and feeling like you're Elton John and, you know, that sort of thing. So I really found that this is a special piece that kind of kicks it up a notch, in my opinion, the sequence looks, but obviously you can see it in these 4 faux pockets. They're not real pockets. And you see it around the collar, but you also see it around the wrist. So I like that continuity and how it's carried throughout. And as far as sizing goes, I can't remember. I got this in a size small, and as far as fabric and materials go, it is 44% lyocell, 27% polyester, 22% polyamide, 7% wool. So I'll show you again, the sequence on here is super tiny. They're like miniature sequins. I think that's what makes all the difference in this piece, because it doesn't look gaudy. Like, I think that's what makes a big difference. Now, I haven't worn this yet because this is more of a fall piece for me, hence the tag. So it's a really clean look. I like the way it drapes on my body. I like the way it moves with me. It is very soft. There's nothing itchy about it. The other side of the sequence is obviously just the regular fabric, so there's no sequins actually rubbing on you. And I really like the weight of it because it's not too heavy, it's not too light, it's very comfortable. And the last thing in that second order is this dress. Now, this is the dress that made me pull the trigger on this order because I have I'm a dress person. I love dresses in the summer, and I really am very picky about dresses. And the reason for that is because I don't like certain parts of my body where I don't want them showing all the time. And I'm also very picky about materials and fabrics because I just never want to be hot and sweaty. I always want to feel like there's always a breeze. And so that's always what I'm looking for. The other thing that I really love about dresses of any kind, really, or skirts, is that I love like this kind of ruffle detail where it has that tiered look to it. So I loved this when I saw it. I was, again, very skeptical because I was unsure about sizing and how it was going to fit and how it was actually going to look on me. Now, the way that this is cut when I see it on the model is like their V-neck is very V. It's like a tight V, where I'm very used to a lot of my clothing kind of being very open in this way. And so it feels a little bit more freeing or open, and I didn't know how I would feel about something with such a tight V on me. So I was a little bit worried about that, but I really loved the embroidery on this. I think those details are so beautiful. I think how there's some pleating around here makes it really romantic. But I really loved the sleeve. Like, again, I'm not a poof sleeve girl, but this is a very subtle poof, very, very subtle. And the sleeve is sheer, so I love that, but then the bodice is opaque. What I also really like is that this has a slip underneath and it's attached to the dress. This has a rope detail belt, which is removable. One thing I really like about this detail is that a lot of times I have some dresses that come with belts, but it has literally just one piece of thread sewn as a loop on the fabric, and you're supposed to put the belt through that piece of thread, and that piece of thread always breaks. This is an actual piece of fabric. It's a thin piece of fabric that will keep the belt in place, which is super helpful. So this is like a rope detail, and if you like that look, then you can keep the belt on, but you also have the ability to remove the belt, which I really like. So I also wear it with like my Loewe belt. They both look great either way. And look at these little floral details. Like, I love these little flowers that are embroidered and sewn onto the actual body of the fabric, and it is throughout the entire dress. And then on the bottom, it has like this beautiful embroidery or broderie anglaise on here. It's these kinds of details that really make a dress very feminine, in my opinion, and just beautiful. Okay, so here's the downside of the dress. This, although has an attached slip dress underneath it, I find it still to be too sheer for me. If you're gonna wear a white dress, I would recommend you always put on nude underwear, but even with that, you can still see the outline of your underwear as you're walking, and I don't like that. So despite having a slip attached to this dress, which I really love, again, they did not skimp on that, I still don't like how sheer this is. Now, this is a cream color, not a white color, and so it's very soft and it's not very stark against your skin. I would still recommend that if you're going to wear this and you want to feel completely secure, then I would recommend putting another slip skirt underneath it, and then you'll feel completely covered. So you could go with a white one, but I prefer the nude one. This is just something that I've had in my closet for years and years and years. So is it annoying that you have to put on another layer underneath this? Yes. I wish that, I don't know what they could have done. Perhaps the inner slip dress part, I wish this was thicker. Listen, if you don't mind seeing the outline of even your nude underwear, then it's not a problem, but I guess I'm a little too modest. Okay, sizing. Let's talk about sizing. Okay, my old lady glasses come on again. I got this in a size small, and fabric content is the base or the entirety of the dress. 84% lyocell, 16% polyester. The embroidery is 100% polyester though. And the lining is 96% viscose and 4% elastane. This is also hand washed, so keep that in mind. The first time I wore it, I was really annoyed because I sat in barbecue sauce. So I had to do a spot treatment to wash that, and it was fine, it came out. These buttons, by the way, do not unbutton. These are faux buttons, so the way that you wear it is you have to pull it on over your head. And I would say for this being a size small, this fits me perfectly. This is so light and so breathable, and I love the way this flows on me, and I love the way it feels on me. And so this is definitely a good win and very much my style. Again, I really love that tiered look on the skirt because there's something very casual, romantic, and fun about it. And again, I'm like definitely an embroidery girl, so this hit all the marks for me, and I was very happy with this. Okay, so now the last order I placed was the most recent order, and I want to say I got this 2 weeks ago. So this was in July. Now, the reason I got this was because I'm really about fabrics and materials that are breathable and are very light and flowy. That's something really important to me. Again, the way something fits on me is so important because it has to flatter me in a way that I feel comfortable. So again, it's about like not really showing too much of the areas that I don't like about myself, which is how broad I am or chubbier arms and things like that. Things that I'm just self-conscious on. So I was looking more along the lines of their silk range. And this is actually an early birthday present for me. So my husband did buy these 2 dresses for me. And these are the last 2 pieces I'm going to show you. Both of these are silk, but this is definitely on the pricier side. So I will say that, and I'll put all the links of all of these pieces down below so that you can check out the way that it's shown on the model and all the other details. I got both of these in a size small. This one is the first one I'm going to show you. So this one is a thicker silk. Okay, this is 90% silk, 10% elastane. This antique print they call, I was a little bit unsure of because the way that it was styled on the model on the website was she had much lighter skin than me, and she was also ginger haired, and I was like, I cannot see how this translates to someone with my hair color and skin tone. I'm a very visual person, and so I feel like I have to see that for myself because I can't really imagine it. I really like the blues in this. There's something vibrant about it against the white background. Anyway, I didn't realize that there was a side zipper until I did the try-on. I've always just slipped it on my head and pulled it on that way. I didn't realize there was a zipper on this until I did the try-on clips. So anyway, that is nice to know and definitely helpful to put on. These buttons that are fabric covered are beautiful, and they go all along from the top of the V to the bottom of the dress where there's a big slit opening. There's no print on the inside of the dress. So this is a thicker type of silk, and I like that. It's more of like a pillowcase type of feel, I feel like. So there's a little bit more opaqueness to this. And these buttons are fake. They do not open, so you do have to put it on over your head. Just unzip the zipper. What I really like about this is that there's still a lot of forgiveness because the back has that stretchiness, and that makes all the difference. Again, I really like, it's hard to tell on the website, but there is a beautiful tier skirt detail on the bottom part of the skirt, and I really like that. But it's very flowy, it's so light, so breathable. The fact that it's a silk dress automatically makes it more breathable. The V on the neck is, once again, it's quite a tight V, so I do think it's something that you have to visually get used to. So that is different for me, but I really like the sleeve and how fluttery it is, and it kind of hides your arms, but still is very breathable. So this is definitely a win, and one that I do recommend. So the final dress I'm going to show you is this one, and this is a different type of silk dress because it's a thinner type of silk. They measure silk by mom, or is it mommy? I don't know. Let's just call it mother. I don't know. It's just like they have different thicknesses. And I'll put up a little picture of something that I found as I was doing some research on silk because I wanted to understand what the thread counts. It's essentially like a thread count for silk, what it meant. And so this equates to, because it's a lighter thread count, or mom or mommy, mother type of silk thread count. It is more of like a chiffon. So this has a beautiful flow to it. There's definitely more sheerness to it compared to the other one, which is much thicker. Again, like I said, a little bit more like a pillowcase type of feel. Not quite as thick as a pillowcase, but definitely along those lines. The texture feels a lot slippery. This is more like of a chiffon type of feel, so there's a little bit more of a gauzy feel, if that makes any sense. Anyway, this has a V-neck finish to it. It also has a pussy bow to it, which is a nice detail. This is entirely stretchy around the rib cage and waist, which I really like. This also has an underneath slip to it. Now, this slip underneath is super, super sheer, like very, very sheer. I was very unsure about how, even though it is double layered, if it was going to be like my other white dress where you can see through it. And when I've worn it out a couple of times, I've always asked my husband and my daughter, I'm like, can you look behind me and just see in like the bright shining sun, can you see my underwear underneath it? And the answer is always no. So rest assured, you don't need to put anything underneath this. So I really love the coloring on it. You can wear it spring, summer, and fall just because of the darker print. I think this is a very comfortable dress. Now, on the website in the pictures, they show that you can wear this two ways. One is the correct way, but she also styled it so that this was backwards, like you could wear this backwards and you can give it a new look. Now, in my opinion, it just looks like you got dressed in the dark. So I personally wouldn't do that, but they're saying that there's another way to wear it if you want a 2-in-1. So just putting it out there. But as far as fabric content and sizing, this in a size small, this fits me perfectly. This is 100% silk, it says. There must be some elastane in it, although it's not listed, but yeah, obviously there's a stretch. This stretch goes all the way around. That gives extra comfort if you're not sure about sizing. There's definitely a lot more forgiveness in this one. Again, because it's part of the silk range, it is a little bit more pricey. I would say for any of these things, Goelia always runs ads, and it sounds like a lot of them, have stackable promotions. Definitely wait for a promotion that works for you, but then also go and look for other promotions where you can add a coupon code. So I would definitely recommend making sure you absolutely do that. One trick I learned is, so I had put some stuff in my cart and I just walked away, and when you leave it for a certain amount of time, they will email you and be like, don't forget, here's a coupon code for 15% off just to finish your order. So you can do one of those types of things too. It's just to help you get another discount code to stack upon. So I would say these are wins, but these are wins because I did a lot of research on sizing and fit and look at all the videos that you can find, because I really wanted to get the sizing right and I really wanted to understand how it was going to fit. So even if it was someone who was a little bit larger framed than me and they got a medium, well then I know, then I can, okay, well, process of elimination and trying to make your own kind of educated guesses and decisions based on relativity on other people. So I find that really helpful. I do think that all of this worked out for me personally because I did all the research. I would probably say that not everything is fantastic, but it's up to you to do that research. And I know that we see a lot of these kinds of product advertisements in one way or another. And I just want to make sure that these returns, I don't think they make the returns that easy for you. So it's not like a far-fetched thing where they just give you a pre-printed label and then you ship it off. So that's definitely more incentive for you to make sure that you're purchasing things in the right size and that, the fit's going to be good for you. The coloring is going to be good for you based on your skin tone. And so try to get enough information through your own research. So that is it. That is the entire video. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you found it helpful and insightful. If there was anything on the website that did pique your interest, I would recommend that you just buy 1 or 2 pieces at first and then see how you feel and then get a better idea about their sizing especially, and then make your second order if you're interested in buying more things. So I would just go in slowly, dip your toes in before buying all of these things all in one go. And I think that's probably my biggest advice for you. So let me know if you have any experience with Goelia, if you've ordered from them before, and also what are your favorite pieces from this video. Anyway, if you found this video helpful or enjoyable in any way, then I would love it if you can hit the thumbs up button. That would really help my small channel out. And if you are interested in seeing any of my other videos, then you can go binge watch them here, and I will see you next time.